June, we have a change in the district governor there. The whole district is very active. It supports the same thing. Nepal with the books for the library there after the earthquake, and so many different activities, from drilling water to giving books to many different, to wheelchair to Vietnam. We still send wheelchair to Vietnam for people without limbs as well. And in our club, we don't do the four-way test. We do the Sing Oh Beautiful. We do Pledge Allegiance. And if we do the four-way test in our club, it's five-way test. Of course, we ended up with the fifth. Are we having fun? That's the question. That's the question. Thank you very much. Privileged to be with you. I look forward to see you next week as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Just a test here. I want to see how Ali reacts to the 7 most hated words. I'd like to speak to the manager. All right, President Keith, come on up. Oh, and take it away.
All right, thank you, Tom. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tax Day. You know, which reminds me of the old song, I owe, so off to work I go. And wow, this is pretty loud. And I don't even have it up that close, so wow. Definitely can hear me today. So we have a couple of quick announcements before we get to our presentation. So the first thing is that the foundation will be holding its board meeting immediately following our club meeting out in the dining area. All are welcome to attend if you would like to see what's going on with the foundation. We certainly encourage you to participate. We also are requesting, or I am requesting, 5 participants to help me with coming up with names for nomination for both the Jimmy Suffman Award and the Rotarian of the Year Award. So that's coming here real quickly. I'd like to have 5 people, including myself, as part of the committee to come up with names that we can provide to the club to vote on for those awards for this year, so that we can present that at the awards dinner. So if anybody is interested, can you please let me know by Friday? You can either call me, text me, email me. I'd like to get that committee together as soon as possible so we can get the nomination process started. Rotary Youth Exchange. So Joe Avella is still looking for family members who are willing to host and house a exchange student that will be coming to the Hudson community in August. Again, this is a 3-month commitment, three-month commitment. The family does have to reside within the Hudson
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
So again, if you know anybody who
Of course,
might
thank
be
you. Bye.
interested in participating in that very worthy and worthwhile event, please let Joe know so that we can get them connected and get things going there. Bob Oborn reached out to me. Unfortunately, I cannot do this because I have to work on Saturday, but they are still looking for a few judges for this Saturday's district 4-way speech contest competition. So it'd be from like 8 in the morning till lunchtime over at Springfield High School. So if anybody can, pardon me? 9:30? Okay, he sent me things at 8 to lunchtime, but if 9:30, okay, 9:30. I stand corrected. But if anybody has it in their schedule and time to go and participate, it would be greatly appreciated. As you know, we're sending 2 participants to that conference, so it would be wonderful to have you there and be able to help and participate with the judging of the contest. Let's see here. What else do we have going on? We have Rotary Night on the Town. So I believe that we were kind of narrowing that down. Marilyn sent some information about that out in the newsletter on Monday. Do we have any more information on that, or have we have locked that down as to what day we're looking to do that? Not yet. Okay. We're waiting on the okay. Okay, sounds good. That should be a really fun event. I'm looking forward to seeing as many Rotarians as possible there. I think we'll have a fun time. So again, a little bit more information regarding that to come. And then the Rotary Foundation and our club, we are again welcoming nominations or anybody who's interested in maybe being part of the board of directors. So we have 3 slots that are available for voting. So if you are interested in joining the board of directors for either the foundation or for the club, please let us know. You can email myself, you can email Patrick for the foundation, and we'll get things moving with that. So I think, Kelly, you had something you wanted to talk about regarding the Adopt-A-Spot.
Thanks, James. We didn't do this last year, but I think the city did it. One of these 2 spots, we are now tenants. So I'm going to pass this thing around. All we need to do is to show up once a month, so the months of May through the end of September. So kind of a small commitment. They do all the planting, they do all the watering, they do pretty much everything. You don't really have to do much of anything other than you have to clean it. I'm actually going to tell you specifically what you got to do. Litter removal, sweeping, weeding, and tree well care. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, okay. Well, just swing by in May and chat with a tree. And then report any damage or safety concerns that you may find. This is like right over where you go to the entrance to the parking garage over on 1st and Main. I don't know, and again, I don't know which one we have, which is ours. Mm-hmm. And then the Rotary sign will be prominently displayed on one of those 2 areas. Yeah, I was telling Catherine this morning, my brain's always moving. Adopt a spot. How about adopt a lawn? You guys can put any signage you want in my lawn as long as you show up once a week, mow it, pay me $900. I even go for $500. To be honest with you, I'm not greedy. Works. I think what a great idea. No takers?
Hold on, we have to pay for this?
Oh yeah. Come on, everything in Hudson's a money grab. Yeah. Guys, is it too early in the morning?
Yeah.
It's Hudson, Ohio. Hudson. All right, so I'm going to pass this around. All you have to do is just check off what month that you can participate in, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. Questions? Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. Real quickly, by a show of hands, do we have any Rotarians that will be attending the district conference next weekend on Saturday? Okay, we got Gail. She'll be there with me. Anybody else? I know Patrick, are you going to be there at all? Or the dedication, that's right, okay. I think Rich might be there. Rich Warfield will probably be there. Okay, very good. Looking forward to participating in that conference, bring back some great information for the club. Gail, I'm looking forward to participating with you. We'll be doing the district food bag packing that day, so it should be a lot of fun. So with that, I just want to remind everyone that our monthly charitable giving this month is for Camp Ryla. So again, we're looking for cash donations to help students go to that very worthy camp to learn about leadership. And with that, I will turn it over to Jim as we begin our presentation today. So Jim, take her away.
Thank you, Keith. Good morning again, Rotarians. And this morning, we've had little technical issues. We don't know how it's going to turn out, audio, but we do have our guest and his daughter, Jeff and Brittany, on the phone, on the Zoom. And Jeff is actually the owner of Majestic Meadows Alcapas and Boutique. He's been raising alpacas for 30 years. And I don't know how long his daughter's been with him, but she's his technical guru, because she got us hooked up along with our guy. But at any rate, he thought this is the best way to exhibit what he has to offer at his venue, and I agreed with him. So He's had people come to the farm starting about 8 years ago, I believe. And then he's moved towards an agritourism business. So it's like with many exotic and domestic animals on his farm that he actually encourages visitors to experience. Many of the animals can be hand-fed, others just petted. We offer special encounters with Asian small claw otters. Some of these animals, I don't know, I didn't look them up. Capybaras, Jeff, you'll have to correct me if this is wrong.
No, that is correct.
Coatamundi, and soon a two-sloth.
That is correct. So we actually
Visitors
have Grover.
can see many babies being born on the farm, and they try to make it a very friendly family experience, which it looked like on his website. And he's also got 2 stores where clothing made from their own alpacas are available, and other gifts that can also be purchased. So with that, I'll turn this over to Jeff. Hopefully you can hear us and we can hear you, and we'll communicate if not.
Sounds good. Can
Okay.
you hear me, Jim?
We can't
Can you hear me?
Hold on,
Okay.
we'll work this out. Do you show that you're muted anywhere on the phone there? Hold on.
I do not.
We'll get.
That's better
You
for
know
me.
sign language.
Can you hear us now? I can hear you.
Yeah, it's
Oh, really?
now we're not me.
We're not muted.
Hang in there. Okay, we'll see you next.
You see it right there.
It looked very interesting. Hang in there, Jeff.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I do. I do.
Okay.
Mute.
Go ahead, talk.
Can you hear me now?
Thumbs up. Beautiful.
Okay. Well,
Great.
good morning.
Mm.
morning.
So what I'll do is I'll go over the farm. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. So what we're looking at right now is where the kangaroos are. So we have kangaroos and wallabies. We have a bunch that people can go in with and pet. The goats are up there, about 14 of them. They're all pregnant, due to have babies starting in May. So we'll have about 25, 30 babies. Down below here, now I'm going to show you the animals, but I'm just showing the stuff on the extremities at the moment. The exotics are down there, where there be the capybaras, the Asian small claw otters, the coatamundis. They're from the raccoon family, so they're very they have a lot of energy, so they like to jump on people. We'll have Grover now, the 2-toed sloth, that will probably start encounters possibly next week with. Now back here, you see all the pastures. So this morning we'll let all the alpacas out. We'll have approximately 30 to 40 babies. So people do come to the farm to actually see babies being born. They can actually hold a baby. But that being said, I promise that's after the baby starts nursing. So the most important thing when you have a baby, that they nurse first. So back here, this is where people start the encounters, or excuse me, the farm tour. So these are domestic turkeys. So some people are intimidated by turkeys. These are completely harmless. Children can actually go up to them and pet them on their backs if they wish. This is a mini micro cow. Her name is Nellie. So she's one of the animals that people can pet, that people can feed. The reason why you could feed something like a goat, sheep, camel, cow, alpacas, or llamas, they naturally have no upper teeth. So they literally just eat it right off your hand. She's young. She's about a year old. So
Hi, Nelly.
she will not get too much bigger than this. So you can see how approachable the animals are. Now over here, I'll actually show you pick up a baby that has been born. He's actually about 2 weeks old.
Sleeping.
So this is a little boy, weighs about 21 pounds, was born actually early, but it's doing very well. So people can actually, I don't have a lot of people, but if someone really asks and really wants a nice picture. They can hold a baby. The mom doesn't mind. And this is one reason why a lot of our animals are very friendly, because when they're born here, they get a lot of people, so they're very used to people. Now, some people, they want to know what the difference between an alpaca and a llama is. Llamas are twice as big. So Harry is on the left, Harry's on the left, Harry's on the right. So these two are two llamas. So people can go in with these, they can pet them, they can feed them. Llamas are basically twice as big as alpacas. And if you look at their ears, they kind of curve in, kind of like bananas. Well, another big difference is these guys weigh about 300, 325 pounds compared to about 150-pound alpaca. Now, these are two dromedary camels. When I say dromedary, it's one hoof. Bactrian has two hoofs. So people can pet these guys, they can feed them. And once again, a young child could feed something like these guys here because it's just big lips. So they're very friendly. Now, two pens you don't go in are the mini cows and the camels, but you can pet and feed. All the other pens you can go in with.
Yeah.
These are miniature donkeys. Miniature donkeys.
That's their brave.
So that's a miniature donkey that was yelling, and that's a baby donkey right here. Miniature horse, miniature mule, which we rescued. So people can go in here and they can pet these. They do not feed these because they have teeth like you and I, but these are very, very friendly. Now over here, there's two different types of pigs in here. So these are, come here, guys. So these are called Vietnamese potbelly pigs. They weigh about 75 pounds. They were actually born here. Well, Patrick and Petunia are the parents. So once again, now these are full grown. Now, if you look out here, these are Cooney pigs, which we rescued. A big difference is these guys weigh about 300 pounds. So once again, very friendly. A child can go up and pet these guys. Now, they're like immovable objects. I mean, they're so heavy, but they're very, very approachable, very, very friendly. You don't feed these as well. And once again, it's because they have teeth, but they're very approachable, very friendly, just very big. One of the distinct differences, these guys do not root or they dig up the ground. The Vietnamese potbelly pigs, they root. So they're looking for grubs, and so they'll make all kinds of big holes in the pasture. Now we're going to go over to where the majority of the alpacas are. And you'll have to excuse the mess because we haven't started cleaning yet this morning. So this is a big portion of the alpacas. Any adult alpaca in here or large size is all pregnant due to have babies this year. They normally have their babies in the morning. The donkeys usually have their babies in the evening. This pen in particular is due first. So I'll have probably about 30 to 40 alpaca babies. Many customers have seen babies being born and through the whole process. Many people have seen the goats' babies have been born. So all these animals here, people can go in with and pet. They're very friendly. Once again, children go in here. Basically, when they go out in the pasture, they can go out into the pastures with the animals. Many of these animals have been born on my farm, so they're very friendly with people. Now, some people are intimidated by the turkeys. My daughter keeps panning on these turkeys. This is for show. This is breeding type season. Now, these are 3 males. Males strut their feathers. They have beards in the front. They have little spurs in the back of their legs. But this is just all for show. They don't do anything with people. They're very, very approachable. You can actually pet them on their backs. Then we also have sheep. They're actually out in the pasture that people can go in with and pet and feed as well. We have basically baby doll sheep, Shetland sheep, something called a valet sheep. They're much bigger. This is a mom and baby. This is Roseanne. That's her baby right there. So these smaller ones are about 6 months old. The rest of these bigger ones, once again, they're all pregnant. So I'll have alpaca babies anywhere between now and September of this year. Most of the goats will have their babies for goat yoga. They'll have their babies starting in May. Now, does anybody have any specific questions that I can help answer?
Jeff, what are your hours?
So so a lot of times when I'm on the phone, you're going to hear a lot of animal noises. So our hours are from 10 to 5. And basically it's two different, and then the stores are open as well. But basically people can do a self-guided farm tour, which includes the kangaroos, the goats. They can come in and see everything that we've said back here. The special encounters, which is more of the exotics, people sign up online on the website. The reason why we do that is the animals like the capybaras, the otters, we give them breaks in between. So we only book so many encounters for them, particularly the otter. If I start, I'm sorry, the sloth, the two-toed sloth rover. Next week, if I do start it, it'll probably be maybe 2 or 3 encounters, and that's what it's all going to be during the day because every animal's different. What people need to realize, and I get questions, is where do I get these animals from? So first of all, the alpacas and the camels, they're domesticated. But all the exotics, I have different licenses. I have a USDA license, a wildlife permit license. So I get my animals like the sloth from the exact same places that zoos get theirs from. I have different connections with zoos. So any animal I purchase, it's a premise that they have a longer lifespan here than it does in the wild. And if anybody has visited my farm before, they know that the rooms that they have, I really try to go over top. But people can book online. That's what is easiest. That way we get an idea so we can prepare for the customers. But children, it's very family oriented. So that's what we strive for. When we have our Easter egg hunt, we kind of go over the top for that, which we just completed. But anybody's welcome. We actually have special need groups come here, school groups that come here. I usually take those groups around because I actually enjoy it. We are handicapped. We are handicap accessible, but we have different routes that we go. Now the stores, the one store you can take, I want to make sure that people understand this. The one store you can go in with the wheelchair. The other one has stairs. That one you can't. But we do try to strive to help anybody that's a handicap or special needs and try to really help them out as much as possible.
So what does a special encounter involve with these?
Well, so for example, like the otters, it's if someone has a young child, the capybaras and the porcupines is actually a good encounter because the capybaras are very friendly. They're very approachable. Matter of fact, they like you to be slow. So they can be petted, they can be fed. Believe it or not, the African crested porcupines, they like to be on the ground. We actually have what's called a prehensile porcupine. They like to be up in the air or in trees. And so a child can actually pet a porcupine. They can actually feed a porcupine. That's a very laid back encounter. Lasts a half an hour. The Asian small-claw otters or the coatimundi, that's why it's hard to talk on the phone. And the coatimundis, that's a more active encounter. The Asian small-claw otters, it's a half an hour as well. You basically sit on the ground. We have an indoor swimming pool that the otters go into, not the people. And the otters, sometimes they'll go in a swimming pool. So we provide a person with a cushion, a towel, because a lot of times the otters will go swimming and then they go on you to dry off. But that's a very active encounter. They're all over you. The coatimundis, it's different. They're from the raccoon family. And they like to crawl up your leg, get on your shoulder. They like to get on your head. They have a long nose, so they sometimes like to stick their nose in your ear. That is a very active encounter. The two-toed sloth rover, we're still working on that encounter, but you'll be able to pet him. You'll be able to feed him, not hold him. I don't like that idea of holding a sloth personally. They particularly don't like that. So you can actually, and that will probably start next week. We have we have descended skunks, armadillos that somebody can hold cautiously because they can't be dropped. We have cicada tortoises. One we've had a couple we rescued. We do rescue some animals, but we also have to make sure that we can take care of them if we already have a certain type of an animal. Like we have one cicada tortoise, which weighs 130 pounds. So, and he's a male. So when we rescue two females, they all got to be in separate areas. So people can go in with the tortoises as well. All the animals are approachable, but it also depends on the person. Somebody may like the Cotamundai, we have three of them. They may like all three of them on their shoulders. Someone may say, I just want to take pictures. So everybody's different. So we try to tailor the experience toward the person.
What's that? Go ahead.
What kind of veterinarian do you have that takes care of all those different types of animals?
All right, so that's a very good question. So I am not a veterinarian. I've been doing this a very long time, so I do probably 75% of the vet work myself. By that I mean the early diagnosis. So I have three different vets. So I have a large animal vet, which does the alpacas, which does the llamas, which does the sheep and the goats. Then I have an exotic vet, which was just did a visit to my farm. She does all the exotics, that being the kangaroos, the wallabies, everything that I mentioned down before, the capybaras, the otters, the porcupines, the sloth in particular. So that's my exotic vet. And then I have a camel vet from Columbus. She's actually coming in a couple of weeks to do a yearly exam. There's not too many vets who want to work with a camel because they're so big. I mean, Gus and Tuck. Gus is the mature one. Tuck is the younger one. Gus probably weighs close to 2,000 pounds. But they're very well trained. So I have three different vets. My large animal vet, which is very convenient, is probably 10 minutes from my farm. So that's very convenient. My exotic vet is probably half an hour away. But everything is very well taken care of. I have more space and pastures than I have the animals in the areas. And that's important. The kangaroos, for example, wallabies, they have a couple of pastures. They have edible plants they can eat. They have inside. And believe it or not, they have a sleeping bag that some of them like to sleep on, and they have cots that they sleep on. They can sleep on the floor if they want, but a lot of times they actually prefer to sleep on cots.
I have two questions.
Sure.
The first one is what is your strategy for dealing with the excess births? Because you can't keep all of the young of the year
Correct.
From the animals. So do you trade with Jews? Do you with
Well, so
or?
let me answer the one question before we get to the second one.
Yeah.
So that's a good question. So the birthing. So for example, the Asian small-claw otters, they're fixed. The Cotamundis, they're fixed. The skunks, the pigs, they're fixed. Now, as far as the babies go, I have, once again, like 30, 40 alpacas. So I sell some of them and keep some of them. For example, my wife is going to Kansas, biggest show in the country, alpacas. And we're taking several animals to sell in the auction. Alpacas now, I'm referring to. The baby goats, I sell them. I keep a few of the baby goats, but generally I sell them. The camels, they're two males. One thing that I would like to get babies from, but it's difficult, is the capybaras. They're hard to breed, but I really, really would like her to have babies. This sounds silly, but so they only breed underwater for the most part. So we have an outdoor pond, indoor pool. But we also made a large room for them. Once again, this sounds kind of silly, but it's their quiet area. So they only go in there, and they have a pool in there. So I would like for them to have babies, which I will keep. If she is able to have babies or if she gets bred. Let's see, what other animals? The kangaroos, they're all fixed. The wallabies, they're fixed. So a lot of the animals are fixed for, we got to keep it under control. Like the otters, they could have up to 6 to 8 female. They can have 6 to 8 babies, and there's 3 females, 1 male. All 4 of them are fixed. And a lot of it is it's better for them. I have 2 giant Flemish rabbits. Now it's only 2 females, but they're fixed. A lot of times when you fix an animal, it's better for them. It's less cancer risk. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you. And my second question has to do with the sloth.
Yes.
They like to spend their time hanging around, preferably in trees. So what kind of habitat do you provide for the sloth?
Now, I'm glad you asked that question because so I've been looking at a sloth and I personally have held a bunch of sloths. I fed, because I do research. So I go out and do encounters myself. So I've been looking at sloths, and obviously I'm a little biased at my farm, but I've been looking at sloths for several years and to obtain one. And Grover, I just obtained probably about 6 weeks ago. So a sloth, you're exactly right. So I welcome anybody to go to other establishments, and I'm not knocking any other farm. I don't do that, and I don't mention other farm names. But you're exactly right. So I welcome anybody to look at Grover's habitat. So the walls, it's a 20 by 20 room. The walls are, it's universal rock. So it's all rock walls on the whole perimeter of the walls. The ceiling is cedar. It's temperature controlled, humidity controlled. There's 2 big trees in there and vines connecting them back and forth. And as far as privacy goes, I went a little bit further for the animal, a little bit less for the encounter. There's pods, or it's a holding area, a little house for him. So he goes in there. Like if I took you down there right now, he's in his pod and part of his body's sticking out. Most of his body is in the pod and he's holding onto a vine. So I have vines connecting both trees and he can go back and forth. He only goes to the bathroom about once every week and a half. That's where he goes on the ground. He generally at night, he comes down. By that, I mean around 6 o'clock. It depends on him. And he hangs upside down on a vine and eats off this platform where he gets fed a diet for him. So no one's asked this question, but the animals here get diet that's for that animal, for their nutrition for that animal. I don't scrimp or save money on how I feed the animals. I have a vet, whether it be an exotic vet or different connections I have with different zoos, that I have a feeding regimen, whether it be for the alpacas, pigs, or whatever. And I spend a tremendous amount of money, whether it be on vegetables, fish for the otters. So I don't script on any of the nutrition.
Thank you.
So how did you get involved in this?
Well, so I got originally, when Jim first introduced us, is that I've been raising alpacas for a long time. So from there, I went to donkeys because I personally like donkeys. They're extremely friendly. To be honest with you, they're friendlier than alpacas. They're much more approachable. Once you scratch a donkey, they'll follow you around because they like the attention. Then I went to the kangaroos. We actually raised Lily and Poppy, the 2 red kangaroos, in our house as babies, bottle fed them. They're extremely friendly. Matter of fact, Brittany, who's holding the phone, my daughter, when she lived in the house, Lily would go up the stairs and sleep in her bed. Poppy did not go upstairs. She didn't like the stairs. Lily is so friendly. My daughter, she's the only one that's allowed, by the way. So she can go and scoop her up and carry around to this day like a baby. And then I started doing research on different animals. But once again, I premise this because I will get people question me where I got this, where I got that. This belongs in the wild. Is I do research in what animal that is interesting and that can be well taken care of in captivity, and once again has a longer lifespan. Because there's other animals that I would like to get, but I'm not going to get. I can get them, but I'm not going to get them because it shortens their lifespan in captivity. But then I just research different animals. I do my homework. Um, the otters, I researched probably for 2 or 3 years. The capybaras, I researched for 2 or 3 years. The sloth was probably at least 3 years. So I go out and I look at different people, how they do it. And I try to improve it, which I think I have. But I will get people that question, some of these animals. But if they come to the farm and see how well they're taken care of, how well they're fed, how well their environment is, I think that they will agree, if they have an open mind, that everything is taken care of so well. They have a wonderful life here. We don't, the main core of animals will never leave this property. The kangaroos, wallabies, they'll always be here. The capybaras, the coatimundis. I'm not one of those places that gets an animal as a baby and then moves it on when it becomes adult, when it becomes a little bit more difficult to work with. The core group, like all the exotics, they'll be here forever. As long as they live, they'll be here forever. So I now, as far as no one's asked this question, am I looking at something else? At this time, I am not looking at anything else. I want to make sure that the sloth is the latest edition, that I take care of him, because it's a learning curve. The zoos, I have contacts with zoos, and I ask them questions. And so I want to make sure that before I get something, and there's nothing on my mind to get at this point in time. I just want to maintain all this right here. So I welcome people actually to come to the farm and see. I think we're doing a good job, a very good job.
Good morning. My question to you, since all your animals are fixed, do you have a replacement program? That's number one. And number two, have you thought about having birds of prey, add some more wild exotic birds as well? Thank you.
The birds, I'm going to ask you to repeat that first question in a second, but the birds of prey, so, and I'm a very straight shooter. So I would love to get a shoehorn bill. I have actually contacted them. They're endangered. And I told them I would actually build an area for the shoehorn bill to actually help with their existence. But you can't get those. The turkeys are enough for me, honestly. They, half the people are scared of them, even though they don't do anything. And some people love them, and some people they'll go so far out of their way. A lot of people are scared of birds. At one point, I was thinking of emus, just several. That is remotely on the table, but that, as far as birds go, that is the only other bird that I'm thinking of. Now, could you repeat your first question?
So sure. Since all your animals, most of them are fixed, there is no reproduction. Do you have a replacement program?
Yes. Okay, now I understand. Yes, so I can obtain, God forbid anything happen to Lily and Poppy, because they're part of the family. I could anything that I have here, whether it be otters or capybaras, I can get more of, but like I have a Captain and Coraline, the capybaras. I can't just go out and get another, like right now. Can I get another capybara? I can, but sometimes it's hard to introduce one when you already got a little family set going on. They won't accept it. They'll fight. That's where I have to be careful when people want to donate something. When my daughter showed you the pigs, they're in two different pens. So I rescued the two cooney pigs. They can't be together. So I have a replacement program if I need it, but I don't think that term, because I want to keep the ones that are fixed alive as long as I possibly can. And I provide, and the health care that I have in my vet care, I think is pretty well documented.
So what's with those turkeys? Why are they so excited? They seem like they want to be on camera and they want to show off.
This is the type of the year that they show off because it's breeding. I have no hens. These are all males. Matter of fact, one of them is the dad of the other two. The interesting thing is I have wild turkeys in the woods. They do not associate. And now these turkeys are free roaming, so they can go anywhere they want. If they want to escape, they can escape. If they want to go in the woods, they can go in the woods. But they have it too well here. They got food. They got anything they need. They got the shelter. They do this all day long. And when the one gentleman mentioned about the birds of prey, I'm not exaggerating. Probably half the people are scared to death. They think that when they come here, that the turkey's looking at them, and when they make that puffing noise, I don't know if you can hear it. They think they're going to attack. They do that all day long. So this is the type of year that they show off, and they drag their feathers on the ground. It's now they don't bother people, but I'll tell you what they do. If I had that mom and baby alpaca out here, they're like little bullies. They would bother that baby alpaca.
So tell us a little bit about the lifespans of these animals. Which ones are the longest lived?
Oh, well, that's easy. The longest lifespan is the camels and the equine. They can live up to 30 to 40 years. We have the one gentleman asked about replacement. So we have a horse, a miniature horse, Cookie. She's nearing her end. She has several years to go, but she's older. She's thinner. So we actually open up the gate and she runs out. Well, here, let me show you. Generally speaking, a lot of the alpacas and all the other animals between 10 and 15 years. So this is Cookie. So if I open up the gate, so she's older. She's very old, but she knows that she gets extra food. And so she comes over here and we feed her 3-4 times a day. And she just hangs out here and eats food. So generally speaking, most of the animals are around 10 to 15 years. The equine is double that.
Got the cicadas to
The cicada tortoises, my daughter pointed something out. So the cicada tortoises, now that is way different. Those are 80 to 100 years. So a lot of people will get something like, for example, we rescued one from the SPCA and one lady she was going to nursing home. So we took hers. People get those. They absolutely do not know how to take care of them. They don't have the proper habitat or the diet. And I get calls all the time to rescue the cicada tortoises. So they live 80 to 100 years. Those are by far the farthest.
Hey, Jeff, 30
Yes.
years ago, what'd you do before the farm?
So I actually worked at a paint company developing colors for automobiles. I developed for automotive and Harley Davidson. So I was Harley Davidson. So I was doing that for a long time. I enjoyed it, but then I had the alpacas at that time, the kangaroos, and the donkeys. And then I came home and told my wife, I said, I'm thinking about retiring and just going to try to grow the agritourism business. And so that's been, I enjoy this. I would have much preferred to been doing this longer than I have. And if I had, I'm too old now, but I would love to be a vet. I like working with the animals, taking care of them. I can kind of detect when an animal's not feeling well. So I try to get the animal, if they're not feeling well, taken care of as quickly as possible. I have my own antibiotics that I get from the vet. So I enjoy working with the animals. I wish I would have started this much earlier.
I see a lot of people walking in the back. You have a pretty good staff?
Yes, so we're getting ready for 10 o'clock when we open up. So we started, I'm up earlier. Like for example, the porcupines, I was up feeding them at 6:30 this morning. Just a treat. They like a little piece of banana, but the key is little. So they contain a lot of sugar. So you can't feed an animal just because they like it. You got to make sure that everything is in toleration.
Super. Anybody else? Oh, how large is the farm size-wise, I guess?
So it's about 20 acres. Most of it is in pasture, and that's mainly for the alpacas, the sheep, the camels. Some animals like the sheep, they eat a lot of grass. Once I put the sheep out, I don't mow anymore. The goats, they're more foragers, so they need a lot less. The capybaras, they have their own pasture, of course, their pond, and everything's edible. same as the kangaroos. So it's approximately 20 acres.
And you're in Medina, right?
Dinah, right off the square. We're about 5 minutes from the square.
No kidding. Well, Jeff, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure talking to you guys. You guys have a great week.
Hey, and you can view your own interview on our YouTube channel if you so desire.
I will do that. Thank you very much. You guys have a good day.
You betcha. Thank you, Jeff.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
You're very welcome. Bye.
All right, that was very exciting and interesting. I can't wait to tell my brother about this place because he has a little granddaughter, so I think it would be a wonderful place for him to take her on a weekend. So again, thank you, Jim, for getting that all set up. Before we end our meeting, I think Patrick had something to say about the Manitowoc Camp cleanup. Nice try.
Andy, you have to come twice. We've actually been asked if we would be interested in painting this year instead of cleaning. So the building, the shower house building is in its normal cycle where we would be painting it this year, and weather permitting, obviously, that day, if we would be interested in painting. So I said I would come and ask the club if we would prefer to paint instead of clean. Any preference? You did graffiti in high school?
I personally, I would prefer painting over cleaning, but
You would prefer to paint?
I prefer to paint.
Over clean? All right. Well, then we'll get the supplies and have them on hand. And so if you're coming to clean, or if you signed up for the 9th, May 9th, for the shower, the pool house, we'll be painting that day instead of cleaning the showers and the bathrooms and the lockers. So appreciate it.
Thank you. Do we have any other announcements from the club? I will take that as a no. So we will move on to the Rotobuck raffle. So we have a payout today of $7 and a jackpot of $160. Ollie, I'm going to have you pull the ticket.
Okay, the last numbers are 452. Going once, 452.
All right, it's Ron.
All right, we'd like to audit that first.
Yes, sir. All right, Ron, let me get the... Okay, Ron, just so you can see what your odds are, and that the black marble is in there. You were real close. You were like one marble away. All right, the pot keeps growing. Ron's not trusting me that I'm not going to give him his $7, but there you go, Ron. Thank you. All righty. Oh my, is that Rich Warfield back there? It's tax day, Rich. What are you doing here? Well, we appreciate you being here. Thank you. All right, so next week, April 22nd, we will be back here in the auditorium for a presentation from Jason Klein. He is the Chief Historic Preservation Officer for Hale Farm and Village, Krantz Farmhouse. So we have another great presentation coming up next week. Ollie, we'll look forward to having you back next week. Thank you for joining us today. And with that, I will end the meeting with our inspirational quote for the week. And this comes from, he's a pretty smart guy. His name's Albert Einstein. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. So with that, I will end our meeting for the week.